Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Coming up in the next hour, Namaskar. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi makes his opening remarks at the second India-CARICOM Summit in Guyana, says that India is advancing drone technology in the agriculture sector. India and Guyana boost ties in fields of health, hydrocarbons, agriculture, digital payments and pharmaceuticals. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Guyanese President Ali hold delegation-level talks. Media tycoon Jimmy Lai testifies in a case that is seen as a test of Hong Kong's press freedom and judicial independence. And the 55th edition of the International Film Festival of India opens to a glittering opening ceremony in Goa. Prasar Bharati launches an OTT platform. It's called Waves. In the last leg of his three-nation visit, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Guyana. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister there in 56 years. In a boost to the long-standing development partnership with Guyana in the fields of health, connectivity, renewable energy and water, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with the Guyanese President Mohamed Irfan Ali in Georgetown on Wednesday. The leaders discussed bilateral cooperation in various fields, including trade and investment, and exchanged views on global and regional matters. India and Guyana have taken significant steps to strengthen their partnership through a series of agreements spanning key sectors. Both leaders also witnessed the signing and the exchange of 10 MOUs. In the healthcare sector, the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization and the Guyana Drug Regulatory Authority, they have signed an MOU to ensure cooperation in the regulation of medical products. An MOU between the Ministries of Petroleum and Natural Gas and the Natural Resources of Guyana will enhance collaboration across the hydrocarbon sector. Agriculture also received a boost with an MOU focused on collaboration in farming and allied sectors, paving the way for the innovation and growth in food security. An MOU for cultural exchange program from 2024 to 2027 was signed. India's digital payment system interface, that the UPI and the RuPay card, the RuPay payment system, they are set to expand into Guyana through a commercial agreement, advancing digital financial inclusion. Additionally, a partnership in the field of pharmaceuticals aims to promote affordable generic medicines, further enhancing healthcare accessibility. An MOU between CDSO and Ministry of Health of Guyana, as we said earlier, on the cooperation in the field of medical products. The India-STACO MOU also on cooperation in the field of sharing successful digital solutions implemented at population scale for digital transformation. MOU on cooperation and collaboration in the field of broadcasting between Prasar Bharati and the National Communications Network Guyana was also signed. There's an MOU between the National Defence Institute of Guyana and the RRU, that's the Raksha University of Gujarat as well. And addressing the press meet, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked the President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, for a grand welcome. The Prime Minister said that both countries have identified multiple new initiatives to strengthen relations. Prime Minister said that close defense cooperation reflects the deep mutual trust between the two countries.
हम दोनों देशों के कृषि अनुसंधान संस्थानों के बीच सहयोग बढ़ाने पर भी सहमत हुए। कृषि के क्षेत्र में आज किए जा रहे MOU से हमारे प्रयासों को बल मिलेगा। भारत फार्मा प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए गयाना का महत्वपूर्ण स्रोत है। हम फार्मा एक्सपोर्ट्स बढ़ाने के साथ साथ गयाना में जन औषधि केंद्र बनाने पर भी काम करेंगे.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also signed, he also said that India's energy security will play an important role. The Prime Minister stressed that to increase trade and mutual cooperation, both nations would continually make efforts.
भारत की एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी में गयाना की अहम भूमिका होगी. इस संदर्भ में लॉन्ग टर्म पार्टनरशिप के लिए एक खाका तैयार किया जाएगा. इस विषय पर आज किए जा रहे एमओयू से हमारा सहयोग और सुदृढ़ होगा. मुझे खुशी है कि गयाना भारत द्वारा लिए गए इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस, कोएलिशन फॉर डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, ग्लोबल बायोफ्यूल अलायंस जैसे इनिशिएटिव से जुड़ा हुआ है. इससे हम पूरे विश्व में ग्रीन और सस्टेनेबल फ्यूचर की ओर बढ़ने के प्रयासों को सशक्त कर सकेंगे.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also lauded President Dr. Irfan Ali's effort in recognizing Indian traditions and culture. The Prime Minister thanked the Indian community of Guyana for making strides in several sectors.
180 वर्ष पहले भारत से यहां आए लोगों ने हमारे संबंधों की आधारशिला रखी है. राष्ट्रपति इरफान अली स्वयं भारतीय समुदाय के बहुत बड़े ब्रांड एम्बेसडर हैं. जिस धूमधाम से यहां फगवा का पर्व मनाया जाता है वह भारत और गयाना की संस्कृतियों के अद्भुत संगम को दर्शाता है. इस तरह के अनेक उदाहरण गयाना में कदम कदम पर दिखाई पड़ते हैं. आज हम दोनों देशों के बीच 2027 तक कल्चरल एक्सचेंज एग्रीमेंट पर सहमति बनी है. इससे हमारे पीपल टू पीपल टाइज और मजबूत होंगे.
Addressing the press meet following the exchange of MOUs, Guyana's President Mohamed Irfan Ali said that India's expertise in the field of vaccines, urban development will be a part of the cooperation between the two nations.
We are also pursuing having vaccine manufacturing here in Guyana to serve all of the region. India is a giant in this field, and that presents tremendous opportunity for us here in Guyana, and this will be part of the collaboration. Urban development, as our development continue to advance and expand, urban development is important. India again has tremendous expertise in urban planning and development, and they will be lending that expertise to Guyana as we seek to advance our own development here. The innovation, digitization, technology transfer, those are key elements of what we are going to work on. The transfer of technology, the rolling out of our own 2030 digitization plan to improve governance, efficiency, reliability, the advancement in our healthcare system, focusing on telemedicine. Those are also areas that are key to India development, in which they have mastered the art of providing these services, and we will be beneficiary of those services.
Well, President Ali added that India can further support Guyana in the field of food security, agriculture and research.
Guyana and the regional development that will further expand our cooperation in these areas. For example, in food security, India's support in advancing our rice industry through technology, innovation, and research. India has also committed to supporting us in our sugar industry, not only from an infrastructure perspective, but also from a human resource and technical perspective. They will support us in expanding our corn, soya, and looking at wheat farming and production here in Guyana, food processing, And important to all of this is research and development.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Irfan Ali planted a sapling in Georgetown under the Ek Paid Maa Ke Naam initiative celebrating motherhood. And in a special gesture, the President of Guyana was accompanied by his grandmother and also mother-in-law. Guyana will confer its highest national award, the Order of Excellence, on Prime Minister Modi. Barbados, too, will confer its honorary Order of Freedom of Barbados on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Dominica has announced its highest national award, the Dominica Award of Honor, on Prime Minister Modi a few days ago. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. President Putin of Russia gifts zoo animals, including lion and bears, to a zoo in North Korea. Hong Kong's pro-democracy tycoon Jimmy Lai testifies for the first time in a landmark trial. And COP29 enters the last lap as negotiators search for a breakthrough. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. You're watching DD India News. I'm Mark Lynn. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi co-chaired the second India-CARICOM Summit alongside the President of Guyana, Irfan Ali, and the Grenadian Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, who is the chair of the CARICOM. They discussed collaborative opportunities with the Caribbean nations. Prime Minister Modi said that India has always tried to face global challenges along with the CARICOM, and he added that the Caribbean nations can in fact work on training women cricketers in India. That's something new.
क्रिकेट हमारे देशों के बीच एक बहुत बड़ा और महत्वपूर्ण कनेक्टिंग लिंक है। इस वर्ष आपके यहाँ हुए T20 वर्ल्ड कप से भारतीय क्रिकेट फैंस का कैरेबियन की ओर आकर्षण और भी बढ़ा है। और यह मैं सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं कह रहा हूं क्योंकि भारत ने यह विश्व कप जीता था। मेरा प्रस्ताव है कि क्रिकेट संबंधों के साथ साथ महिला सशक्तिकरण को बढ़ावा देने के लिए हम कैरिकॉम के हर देश से 11 युवा महिला क्रिकेटर्स की भारत में ट्रेनिंग कर सकते हैं।
And DD India's Siddharth Bharadwaj is now joining us from Georgetown with an update. Siddharth, good to have you with us. Put into context this second India-CARICOM Summit. Prime Minister has spoken. We've also heard that the expectations from the CARICOM side, both through Irfan Ali and Dickon Mitchell. What exactly, are the expectations from this summit?
Hi, Mark. There are many expectations when it comes to India and CARICOM partnership, and this is a very pivotal summit, second India-CARICOM Summit. The first India-CARICOM, in fact, earlier Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the CARICOM leaders on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly in New York, and now this is the first time that this summit is happening in a CARICOM member state. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about many things when it comes to the India-CARICOM partnership in various sectors, in various areas, from renewable energy to healthcare and in fact cricket. And he also said, our viewers also heard Prime Minister Modi saying a while back that cricket is a very important link between both. And as part of women empowerment, they are ready to train 11 cricketers from the CARICOM nations in India, which certainly shows that how important this particular segment is. When it comes to linking both India and CARICOM, the partnership between both. And apart from that, the cooperation in renewable energy is something which is the highlight, because I also mentioned earlier that both India and CARICOM, they are transitioning towards sustainable development goals, and to establish that, to fulfill those goals, this partnership is very, very important. Apart from that, healthcare is very, very important segment, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that health is the biggest priority when it comes to India-CARICOM partnership. And he also said that India will extend everything which is possible, because healthcare is the prime focus when it comes to the partnership between both India and CARICOM. All in all, this particular summit will certainly establish expand in fact India's presence in the Caribbean. And on the other hand, the CARICOM member nations will also be benefiting with India's expertise in various sectors, renewable energy. Mark, if I talk to you about renewable energy goals of India, then India aims to enhance
Let me just come in there for a moment, Siddharth, because among the areas that was spoken about, it looks like pharmaceuticals is a big deal, and also healthcare. And that was the point that Prime Minister ended with, because that's the M of the CARICOM that the Prime Minister talked about. And he even mentioned, the Siddharth 2 machine, your name, the Siddharth 2 machine, which helps in the treatment of cancer, which also can help in can be utilized in CARICOM. He also talked about the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, yoga, What is the in terms of the healthcare sector? How best can the two sides cooperate?
Definitely, Mark. Like I just said, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while also speaking a while back, he also said that healthcare remains the biggest priority, for India when it comes to, assisting the CARICOM, which comprise of 15 member states. And apart from the very fact that India will also extend its cooperation, when it comes to, cancer treatment, and when it comes to diabetes. Apart from that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also focused on the importance of yoga. This is something which is, the world now acknowledges that yoga is something which has a cure for many things, for many diseases. And this exactly is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, that, by yoga, we can cure various diseases. So,
right.
Some yoga teachers are also be expected to send to the CARICOM nations. So apart from the fact, Mark, I was also talking about the renewable energy sector.
Sure.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said that one solar building in the CARICOM member nations, will be, India's effort. So this is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said. And like I was just also mentioning, this second India-CARICOM Summit is very pivotal in expanding India's presence in the Caribbean. And also, on the other hand, CARICOM will also be benefiting with India's expertise in various sectors, in renewable sectors. Mark, I was just telling you about India's renewable energy goals, 500 gigawatt, increasing the renewables by 500 gigawatts. Apart from that, becoming a net zero by 20.
So Siddharth, that meeting is still...
all in all, this is a very pivotal partnership.
So that meeting is still going on, the second India-CARICOM Summit.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little bit in time to the meeting, the bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Guyanese president, and several agreements were signed, 10 of them, and you've reported on them as well. But when we look at the context of CARICOM, Guyana is the country that is really growing fastest in the whole of all the CARICOM countries. It's growing at 15%. The others are really leaning on Guyana in a sense. So it's important that this meeting is taking place over there. How do these agreements, sort of add to the growth potential of the region?
Well, definitely, Mark. It's not just that. In fact, Guyana is breadbasket of CARICOM, and it has also, it also aims to bring down the food import of Guyana by 25% by 2025. That is something very, very important to know. And apart from the very fact that, as far as the bilateral between both the leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Irfan Ali is concerned, that both leaders had a wide range of discussions, and as far as the MOU is concerned, when, health, hydrocarbons, Mark, agriculture, and apart from that, UPI-like payment system. So basically, when you talk about UPI, then we have to acknowledge the very fact that UPI is the finest, one of the finest payment systems in the entire world, which the entire world acknowledges. And as far as hydrocarbons are concerned, that it was being speculated that this would be the prime focus between both India and Guyana, because when you collaborate on hydrocarbons, you collaborate on oil, natural gas, and all the petroleum related products. That's what hydrocarbons comprise of. And apart from that, when you collaborate in this particular sector, you mutually benefit, in fact, in the energy sector, economically as well. And on the other hand, India will certainly from here on diversify its energy sources, and strengthen its energy security as well. The dependence on other regions and other countries from which India was importing oil till now will be certainly reduced, and India will be enhancing its energy security and diversify its energy sources. Apart from the very fact that also adding to it, will be potential economic development for Guyana, because India being a stable oil market for Guyana, and India's expertise in this particular sector will certainly benefit Guyana in many other sectors as well. As far as hydrocarbons is concerned, then both the country will mutually benefit economically as well. And India, like I mentioned, is looking for this opportunity to diversify its energy sources, and also strengthening its energy security as well, Mark. Apart from that, when it comes to healthcare, that this is a collaboration which was already happening.
Yes, Siddharth. Tell us a little bit more about the rest of the Prime Minister's program, the address also to the Guyanese legislature. What's expected?
Well, definitely, Mark, if I talk to you about, from the beginning of the day, then ceremonial guard of honor was given to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Apart from that, restricted bilateral between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Irfan Ali took place, and after that the exchange of MOUs also took place, and now the second India-CARICOM Summit is going on. So this is the schedule which it will be followed by state dinner, as well. So this is the program of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and we'll have to wait and see, how it pans out to be.
Right. Okay. We leave it there. Thanks for the moment, Siddharth Bharadwaj, for joining us and filling us in with all the details. Moving on then to our next story, the jailed Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai defended his newspaper Apple Daily as a strong advocate for democracy and freedom during his national security trial on Wednesday. Lai stated that the core values of the newspaper, such as the rule of law, democracy, freedom of speech, religion and assembly, reflect the principles held by the people of Hong Kong. While Beijing slammed Lai for they claim that he's an agent and a lackey of the anti-China forces. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said that Lai, in fact, is the main plotter and the participant of the anti-China chaos in Hong Kong. And the case centers around articles in his newspaper which supported huge, sometimes violent pro-democracy protests in 2019 and criticized Beijing's leadership. The 76-year-old has been imprisoned for nearly 4 years now and could face a life sentence. Russian government delegate Alexander Kozlov met the North Korean officials in Pyongyang on Tuesday. During the visit, both the countries discussed bilateral cooperation in different fields, including trade, economy, science and technology. The meeting came after South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol at the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro had urged the two countries to end their military cooperation, which is actually the taking part in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, Russia has transferred over 70 animals on Wednesday into North Korea. These include an African lion and 2 brown bears. This is to a zoo in North Korea's capital, Pyongyang. This is from the Moscow Zoo. The animals were a gift from the Russian president to the people of the DPRK. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh visits La PDR for the ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus. India holds regional elections in the states of Jharkhand and Maharashtra.
Welcome to Jaipur.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is in the Lao PDR for the 11th ASEAN Defence Ministers Plus meeting, and it's the highest defence consultative and cooperative mechanism in ASEAN. While addressing the Indian community there, the Minister Rajnath Singh said that after 2014, India's stature has grown at this forum as well. And on the sidelines of these talks, Minister Rajnath Singh met his Chinese counterpart as well. It was the first such meeting following the recent disengagement agreements, and also the meeting of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the BRICS summit. in Kazan. Minister Singh highlighted that amicable relations between India and China would have positive implications for global peace and security as well as prosperity. Now, considering that both countries are and will continue to remain neighbors, he said that they need to focus on cooperation rather than conflict.
2014 के बाद इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी में भारत का स्टेचर बढ़ा है। पहले भारत इंटरनेशनल फोरम पर कुछ बोलता था तो भारत की बातों को जितनी सीरियसली लिया जाना चाहिए, जितनी गंभीरतापूर्वक लिया जाना चाहिए, नहीं लिया जाता था। लेकिन आज इंटरनेशनल फोरम पर भारत कुछ बोलता है तो सारी दुनिया कान खोलकर सुनती है कि भारत बोल क्या रहा है। यह भारत की है, यह कोई छोटी बात नहीं है। और हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर का सम्मान यदि दुनिया किसी देश में होता है, इसका मतलब प्राइम मिनिस्टर जिस कंट्री का प्राइम मिनिस्टर है उस कंट्री का सम्मान हो रहा है।
Minister Singh also met his counterparts from Malaysia and La PDR. In his meeting with the Malaysian minister, both sides agreed to support each other's endeavors to arrive at meaningful outcomes to promote security and stability in the region. Minister Singh complimented La PDR for its efficient and inclusive leadership as the chair of ASEAN this year. These meetings are aimed at further enhancing bilateral defense cooperation with these countries. And now on to updates from day 2 of the Sanyukt Vimochan 2024. The Indian Army is conducting the annual exercise with friendly foreign countries at Porbandar on India's western coast. This year's theme is Cyclone in coastal region of Gujarat. And in an exercise simulating a cyclone, choppers, inflatable boats, sniffer dogs, drones, they've all pitched in to ensure a synergy. Nandita Dagar reports.
Sanyukt Vimochan 2024. This is the annual humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise which is being led by the Army, and it is aimed at improving the synergy and coordination between various agencies, which includes the Navy, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, the State Disaster Response Force, the local weather departments, police, etc., the district administration, in providing succor to the people in the wake of a cyclone. So here there is a simulation of a very, very severe cyclone on the western coast of India between Porbandar and Okha, in the coastal state of Gujarat. And that is how the Army is demonstrating. The Navy has pressed in its assets, including the Coast Guard. The Army has deployed bridges like the Sarvatra and Bailey bridges, set up mobile hospitals or hospitals on wheels, a joint command and control center. The Air Force has winched up survivors on the rooftops of houses with the help of winching on a B-17, B-5 helicopter. The survivors are also being zip-lined from a building they were stranded on. Also, Gemini boats of the State Disaster Response Force are transferring the casualties from these affected areas via the sea to the Navy's hospital ship Talwar, because the area has been cut off, and of course there are no roads and bridges or routes to this place. So this is the entire scenario, the simulation, and all made in India assets are being deployed here. For example, the helipad for the Mi-17 and ALH helicopters is a polymer helipad which has been made completely in India. The drones that have been deployed for surveillance, the Drishti remotely piloted aircraft, that is made in India. So several assets are made in India in this exercise, Sanyukt Vimochan, and 10 partner-friendly countries have also sent representatives, and they are also witnessing the exercise. With camera person Jagmohan Pradhan in Porbandar in Gujarat, this is Nandita Dagar for DD India.
And 58.43% of voters exercised their franchise on Wednesday in the assembly elections in Maharashtra, where the ruling BJP-led Mahayuti alliance is vying to retain power, and the Mahavikas Aghadi combine is hoping for a comeback. Meanwhile, about 68% voter turnout was recorded till 5 p.m. on Wednesday in 38 assembly constituencies in Jharkhand. where voting in the second and final phase of their elections was also ended today. Voting for all the 288 seats of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly were held together in a single phase today, and Jharkhand went to voting in two phases for the assembly elections. Candidates contesting across 38 constituencies and 12 districts this time went to the polls today. Counting of the votes in both these states is going to take place on Saturday, and the first phase, as we said, of Jharkhand assembly elections was held in 43 constituencies, 43 of the 81 assembly constituencies. That was held on November 13. A group of 26 Nepali diplomats and officers from across 10 key ministries and departments of the government of Nepal, they are visiting India for, they're participating in fact in the first special training program, and they are visiting from the 20th to the 30th of November. It's a special training program at the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. The Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of India, Prasanna Srivastava, interacted with the diplomats and officers prior to their visit to India. The training program will include modules on issues of global political and economic relevance, trade and connectivity, climate change and humanitarian assistance, development partnership, shared culture and heritage, and also will include visits to cities and places of historical and tourist interest outside New Delhi. The Indian Foreign Secretary is scheduled to visit Dhaka in mid-December to lead the Indian delegation at the next round of India-Bangladesh Foreign Office consultation, said the Foreign Affairs Advisor of Bangladesh, Tawheed Hussain, on Wednesday evening. He said that he believes that the Dhaka-Delhi they are advancing towards normal bilateral relations, and the FOC will be the first step in that direction, reports the Bangladesh Sangbad Sangstha, a state-run news agency. Now, he expressed optimism that Dhaka and New Delhi could move forward pragmatically and realistically to restore ties to a completely normal level. During the visit, the Foreign Secretary of India is expected to pay a courtesy call on Bangladesh's Foreign Affairs Advisor, reports the BSS. The last annual FOC was held in New Delhi. That happened on November 24, 2023. Global rating agency Moodys has revised its ratings for 6 Bangladeshi banks, citing concerns over the country's recent sovereign downgrade. The banks affected are Brak Bank, Citibank, Dutch Bangla Bank, Eastern Bank, Mercantile Bank and Premier Bank. Moodys has revised their outlooks on the long-term deposit ratings of all these 6 banks to negative from stable. Earlier this week, Moody had downgraded Bangladesh's long-term ratings to B2 from B1, marking the second consecutive downgrade in under 2 years. The short-term ratings were affirmed at not prime, and the rating agency also revised Bangladesh's GDP growth forecast, projecting a slowdown to 4.5% from the earlier estimate of 6.3% for the current fiscal year. For the next fiscal year, the projection has been lowered to 5.8% from 6%. This marks the first time in 14 years that Moody's has revised Bangladesh's outlook to negative from stable since the country began receiving rating from the agency in 2010. This is what the United News of Bangladesh has reported. The downgrade and negative outlook are expected to increase borrowing costs for both the government and the private sector, exacerbating challenges in accessing international funds amid ongoing high inflation. Okay, still to come here on DD India News Hour. The International Film Festival of India opens in Goa. The inauguration ceremony, it celebrates India's rich cultural and cinematic heritage.
Welcome to Kumarakom, Kerala, God's own country.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Prasar Bharati, India's public broadcaster, has launched its own OTT platform, which is called Waves, offering a broad spectrum of entertainment and news content, as reported by ET Brand Equity. Now, the app is now available for download on Android and iOS devices. The platform aims to cater to a wide audience with its mix of live channels, movies, TV shows, games, and live events. Here's more.
The 55th edition of the International Film Festival of Goa kicked off in grand style with the launch of many firsts and new initiatives in order to cater the global cinema market. And in a significant development for the Indian digital media landscape, Prasar Bharati's much-awaited OTT platform went live during IFFI with its official launch at the prestigious International Festival.
As the audiences have discovered the newer media of consuming content, digital is one medium which has gained quite a lot of prominence in these days and times. So it is only fitting that Prasar Bharati also forays into this domain. And one of the advantages of this would be also that the content would be available to all audiences, even if they are in the remotest parts of the country or even outside the country. There is a lot of demand for Indian content across the board, across the world. The Indian settlers in various countries also remember their times here in India through these programs. And of course, they want to keep updated with the news, with the entertainment of Indian origin. We will also be making provisions for sharing some of the informative content that is being produced by the ministries of Government of India, by various state governments, and some rare archival material of photographs, of magazines and journals and e-books. We would also be providing facilities for e-games. So, e-shopping, which is also gaining a lot of prominence these days, is also going to be a part of Waves. So there is something for everyone, and I would request the audiences to download Waves later today and be a part of this experience of this entertainment की नई लहर.
दूरदर्शन तो हमारे खून में था, अब वेव हमारी सांसों में होगा. मतलब अच्छी बात है. इनसे सारी चीज़ें बहुत जगह सिनेमा पहुंचती हैं.
Prasar Bharati's OTT platform is poised to offer a diverse range of content, including live channels, archival footage, and original programming to the audience. The platform also focuses on family-friendly content, aiming to provide a wholesome viewing experience for audiences of all ages. Talking about the benefits of content creators, interestingly, the content creator will retain the IP rights. The OTT platform further aims at creating a marketplace to showcase its vast archive of over 2,000 titles, including a treasure trove of heritage photos. Deepika Mehto's report for DD India.
This is a preview file.
Well, the 55th edition of the India International Film Festival. It's in fact in a picturesque setting. It began in the West Indian state of Goa, and cinema lovers in fact have already queued up outside the theatres to catch the opening film of IFFI, The Better Man. Let's look at this report.
The 55th edition of IFFI opened with grand style in Goa, showcasing a rich landscape of cinema and culture. Speaking on the occasion, the Chief Minister expressed his delight on continuing the legacy of hosting IFFI in Goa.
IFFI और गोवा एक दूसरे के हो गए। कोई गोवा को याद करता है तो IFFI याद आती है और IFFI को याद करता है तो गोवा आ जाता है। हमेशा के लिए IFFI ने गोवा को बहुत कुछ दिया, तो ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म पे ये गोवा को पहुंचाया है। इतना सारा अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यहाँ पे क्रिएट किया है और ऑलवेज आई वेलकम्स द इंटरनेशनल एंड नेशनल guests, those who are coming specially for this IFFI, especially the directors, actors, actresses, those who are coming to see the movies, to see the IFFI.
आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच। नागेंद्र हाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय।
आम्ही सांगतो नमन तुम्ही ऐका हो कोणी जन पयल नमन आम्ही करीतो वंदन पयल नमन हो करीतो वंदन तुम्ही ऐका हो कोणी जन आम्ही करीतो कथन पयल नमन हो पयल नमन।
The Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Ashwini Vaishnaw, shared his thoughts through a video message.
I welcome all the delegates from across the world to the IFFI 2024. Friends, IFFI, as we call it, has become a very important milestone in the development of film industry in India. We in India at this point of time are very much focused on developing the content creators economy. We have a very vibrant creators economy where people are coming up with very innovative content, showcasing some of the rich heritage of India, the cuisines of India, the culture of India, some of the gems of Indian language and literature are being presented by the content creators in very interesting ways. So we believe that with the addition of technology and the development of the creators ecosystem, India can play a major role in the way the creators economy is shaping up. We welcome you all to this edition of IFFI and we hope that your stay in Goa will be very interesting. We hope that you will find new partnerships and develop new ideas here. We hope that some of the youngsters will get mentors. We hope also that many of the ideas that you share with us will help us shape the direction of the industry in the coming years. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best.
The Secretary to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting spoke on the importance of the event and how IFFI is adding more to the world.
IFFI is a great medium for us to take this content outside. And when it comes to Film Bazaar, the idea is that the future is now.
Absolutely.
This festival is actually dedicated to the young filmmakers. And the idea was to get the young filmmakers the right market. And that's why the Film Bazaar is a huge property this year.
Yes.
We have close to 1,600 entries.
That's incredible.
And some of these are at the initial stage, story stage, co-production stage. All these movies are now on offer for somebody to co-produce. A lot of people have come from world over. Plus we also have the Creative Minds of Tomorrow, where 100 finally selected entries have now come here to IFFI to show their wares. And that's again a huge promise that these guys have for our future. So cinema is definitely being given out to the next generation in a befitting manner is our point when it comes to Film Bazaar.
Prasar Bharati, who's the official broadcaster of IFFI, made special arrangements to make this event look grand and accessible to each part of the country. Red carpet always remains the main attraction of IFFI, and this time around, the event was passed with a walk-in of not only just the celebrated stars from across the world, but also young and creative minds, debutantes, and female filmmakers in large numbers. Apart from that, the event also witnessed a special act by the country of focus, Australia, to touch the historical perspective. A special performance by Sunny Kaushal and Sanya Malhotra enthralled the spectators that showcased the journey of Indian cinema. And the 55th edition of International Film Festival of India, IFFI 2024, kick-started with grand celebrations, great interactions with mega stars, and the peak of celebration of Indian cinema with the world. With camera person Alok, this is Deepika reporting for DD India.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lin from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.